Hey, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications, and become part of the Wayneko crew. My name is Wayne, and this is Wayneko. Now, today I am back with the third Throwback Thursday that I have put on so far. And so I kind of got this feeling that these are going to turn into a pretty regular thing in as to what I'm doing here. And today I got Bob, and I got lots of other things going on. So I've got some Funko leaks, I've got some Funko news, I've got just all kinds of good content coming at you today that you're really going to enjoy. Now, lately I have been on this whole like Bill Murray kick, right? And they have just been releasing a lot of these Bill Murrays. Andy, how are you doing, buddy? It's good to see you over there today. They have just been releasing a lot of these Bill Murrays lately. And me and my wife happened to pick up, I think it was like 6 or maybe even 7 of them all at one time at Walmart. And so we picked up, I think it's 3 of these What About Bob. So the next 3 Thursdays we do, I'll bring out each one of the What About Bobs and we'll check those out. Now, their box, they're only showing 2 of him on the back of this. I can tell you like hands down that there's way more than just 2 of him rolling around out there. It is a pretty cool box. It's from the movie series, so it's not much different than any of the other movie series that you see. They always kind of take a scene from the movie and just kind of make the box after that, or maybe just like the cover of the CD or DVD, however you want to say that, is normally where that comes from. There is so much going on in the Funko news. At some point today, I realized that I didn't really see anything new coming up as far as Funko cons and things to that effect. So that's almost news all on its own, right? That we don't see any kind of like Funko cons or anything like that coming out here soon. And I just haven't seen any in the last couple of weeks other than Carnage, right? Now that Blacklight Carnage was pretty hot. Now he has the shirt on, says "Don't hassle me. I'm a local," which is pretty cool, right? This is a very iconic movie, and if you haven't had a chance to go check this movie out, you really should go check this movie out because it's just a Bill Murray classic. So it's one of them that you should definitely go check out. He looks just like a pretty average pop, though, and this is my complaint with this pop. If I didn't know that what movie this was from, and they didn't necessarily like tell me on the box where it was from, I don't know that if he was out of the box, I would recognize him as What About Bob. So I'm going to kind of leave him over there for now. And I'm going to ask you guys at some point if you know who he is, right? Because the chat room's forever changing. Hey, wife, how are you doing? And if you have anything that y'all want to talk about, hey, throw a comment over there. Let me know what you want to talk about today. Now, like I said, there's lots of like stuff going on in the Funko community. There's all kinds of news going on. And like I said, at some point today, I decided that there wasn't a whole lot of anything going on in the Funko cons and the new releases. And that's news all on its own, right? So at some point, I'm going to get on here and we're going to check out the Instagram. You know, this is one of the things I love to do on here because I just don't get on Instagram and check out the Funko page all that often. So it's one of my favorite things to kind of get on here and do. And that's just kind of scroll through their Instagram and talk about it with you guys. Now, one of their leaks, hey, Bearded Barbarian, how are you doing? One of the Funko leaks that has happened here recently is going to be with the ECC 2021. So they have leaked. It's going to be a 2-pack with WandaVision. Now, this is what I'm going to say is I don't really know anything about this series, and I'm going to say it's a series because I'm assuming it's not a movie. I want to say it's a Marvel series that they've come out with, and I just haven't seen a whole lot about it, but I do know that they leaked the 2-pack. It's supposed to be with Vision, and Quicksilver is supposed to be who is going to be in that leaked 2-pack. Now, like I said, I don't know enough about the series to really talk about that a whole lot. I do know that Funko tends to leak things here recently a little bit more than I think they should when it comes to some of this stuff. But I mean, that's going to happen. I almost think that it's better that they leak it than someone else leaks it. So I guess that's okay, right? So that's going to be one of the leaks I have for you guys today. There's a lot of other leaks that are going to be coming about here in just a minute. But here in the meantime, I'm going to kind of jump on Instagram and I'm going to see what's on their website. Fabian, how are you doing? Now, guys, like I said, if there's anything y'all want to talk about, how about throw a comment over there and let me know whether it's a new pop news, leaks that you have questions about. Now, I'm not necessarily an expert when it comes to any of this. I think that we're pretty much all on the same page. We just all keep up with it a lot, and sometimes it's good to hear, what somebody else's thoughts are on leaks and things of that effect. So I am going to switch over to my Instagram real quick, and we're going to see if we can get into their their page, see if we can get into their page and take a look at it. Now, like I said, I really haven't I really haven't sat down and looked at it. I typically don't go and look at their page a whole lot just because a lot of times it just pisses me off. Fabian, you're thinking about going live here recently. Hey, that would be really cool. Going live in an hour, talking about look, that'd be really cool. Go live. I mean, I am gonna say this: if you go live in an hour, is gonna be about the same time that I'm gonna be coaching swim. I will try and catch the beginning of that, but I don't know that I will catch it all. But I will definitely sit down and try and catch the beginning of that. So as I've been doing on these Thursdays, I'm gonna go over to Instagram and I'm gonna check out like what they have going on there to see if there's anything new going on there that I haven't seen, because it just tends to be the way things go, right? So let's see what we have here. Let's make that a little bigger. I hate it when that's so small. So they're coming out with a lot of Mandalorian stuff, but that's only to be expected, right? I mean, they just dropped season 2 of The Mandalorian. I think that the next episode is going to come out this Friday. I want to say that they're going to be every Friday. This is the way that they should be. They came out with one last Friday, and that's where you're going to see the Mando riding the Tauntaun there. So that's actually from the first episode in season 2, and that is a really good one. Fabian says, what time do you get done coaching? Fabian, I normally get done coaching at 7 p.m. So I coach a swim team. It's 7 p.m. is normally when I'm walking out the door. It's a lot of fun. lot of fun. Going back to The Mandalorian, though, and they're coming out with just a lot of Mandalorian stuff. But like I said, it has a lot to do with the fact that they just come out with that Disney set that you see over there. I'm pretty sure that Disney all the way to the right is going to be an Amazon exclusive. Now, if that is an Amazon exclusive, I think I've heard through the grapevine that one is going to be like $22. I'm going to click on that real quick, though, and see if maybe they'll give us a little bit more information on that one. And yes, so they let us know that it's Amazon exclusive. And I want to say that I seen the price somewhere that said that price was going to be around $22, $24. The pins themselves should be getting close to that price. So I want to say that if you're a Disney collector, I think that that's going to be a pretty good pickup for you. If not, look, I'm not going to run out and pick that up anytime soon. But if you're a Disney collector, that's going to definitely be a solid one to add to your collection, hands down. I mean, that's going to be a pretty solid one to add. Let's see. Andy says, let's see what he got there. Episode 2. Yes, no, Andy, look, when I come on here and I do these lives on Thursdays, I call them Throwback Thursdays. I'm coming on here and I'm normally bringing a pop that I just didn't bring out in one of my videos, or it just hasn't made it out and it's been sitting there a while for me to talk about. You're not getting off topic. Not off subject. Look, The Mandalorian 2, it's so every Saturday at 3:30, you'll be able to catch me and 4 other guys. We'll all be talking about The Mandalorian and what that episode was about. And we're going to do that every Saturday until there's just no more episodes. Now, there's normally like 8 or so episodes, so it'll be 8 or so Saturdays we'll do it. And it maybe won't always be the same 4 guys. And that's why I really didn't say anything, because you can't necessarily expect people to give you their time every Saturday. But I'm hoping, I got fingers crossed, that I'm going to have the same 4 guys every Saturday, and we're just going to kind of talk about The Mandalorian and what's going on. Let's see, season 2 now back. Oh, you're back to lockdown in the UK. Yeah, I think I seen something on the news about that. That's look. I hate the fact that we're going back to that part of the world, and that might even be a reality again, right? I mean, that maybe we'll be back in lockdown. They have got back into the around the worlds. Did any of you guys get into collecting these around the world pops? Because I did not start collecting these around the world pops, and I just don't think that it's something that I'm going to start collecting. It wasn't that appealing to me. Now, these things have been a Funko site only. I want to say Funko site exclusive, but we pretty much know that there's no such thing as like Funko site exclusives, or at least I don't feel that way. I don't feel like there's a such thing as an exclusive when it comes to anymore, because sometimes you'll see the Walmart exclusives on the Funko site, and so I don't really know that I believe in exclusives as much as I used to. It's kind of sad, because I used to really like the idea that things were exclusive, and I knew that I could only get it in this spot. And once they were sold out, they were sold out, right? I mean, that's just not the case anymore. I feel like they're still rubbing this guy in my face, though. And this was one of them that I had really wanted. Oh, I'm sorry, Fabian. I missed your comment there, and I'm going to kind of backtrack to that real quick. So Fabian says, do you think that they're going to show us something like a deleted scene of Boba Fett? I don't necessarily know. This is what I do believe that we're going to see Boba Fett coming up in here in The Mandalorian. I am a firm believer that at the end of the episode 1, season 2, that they were actually kind of showing us Boba Fett there at the end without his armor. Now, I don't know if that's true, but I have a strong feeling that that's where they're going to go with that. Oh, so Barbarian, you did start collecting those. I just didn't go after them, and now that I've kind of missed them, I'm just not going to try and even go after those anymore. I'm just going to kind of let them stay where they're at, and maybe one day I'll see one of them that I just have to have. But I haven't seen any of them yet in the Around the Worlds that I just felt like I had to have. Going back to I can't really remember what they're calling this guy, and I can't really see it right there, but I want to say that they're calling him is something to do with the corn, right? Because that's what they are. Let's see. I still don't see his name on there. Anyways, I don't really think that his name matters when it comes to this guy. I still feel like maybe they're rubbing this guy in our face. I don't think that we're ever going to see him here on the Midwest or the East Coast. And so where I'm living at is considered the Midwest, but to me, it's really more of East Coast than it would be Midwest, but it's neither here nor there. I'm not real good with geographics to begin with, and I'm not going to pretend like I am. So let's move on from that one to the Hello Kitty stuff. There is some really cool stuff coming out in the Hello Kitty lines. Now, I actually, this is a story that I'm sure all of you guys have heard at least 2 or 3 times. My local GameStop tends to know what I collect, and they tend to know what I'm looking for when it comes to like pops and action figures and stuff of that effect. So they called me up one day and said, "Hey, Wayne, we have," it was like 4 of the Hero Academia pops here. They're new pops. Would you like us to hold on to them? And I said, absolutely. Hold on to those guys for me. So I get to the GameStop, and I think it was the next day. I didn't get to them that day. The next day, they had held on to these things. They put them in a little drawer for me. I come in there, and they pulled them out of the drawer, and they were all Hello Kitty My Hero Academia pops. Now, I felt so bad that I had them hold on to those for me that I went ahead and picked them up, and they were kind of cool to begin with. Look, I'm not even going to try and like totally just try and bullshit you guys. They are kind of cool, and they've been coming out with some fairly cool Hello Kitty pops. Now, I don't know necessarily where Hello Kitty come from or what makes Hello Kitty a Hello Kitty. I don't know any of that, but I do know that it's a lot like the aliens that they're doing right now, right? They're taking the aliens right now and they just keep putting them in these different costumes, and then they just keep recycling that figure or that trait or however you want to look at it. They just keep recycling that into something different, and they're kind of doing the same thing with the Hello Kitties right now. They just keep recycling her and making her something different. And look, I'm kind of okay with that. I'm not 100% against that. Some of them, like I said, look really cool. Now, I'm not going to run out and buy it, but I'm also not going to like knock somebody that does go out and buy it. I'm not going to be like, oh, you're a Hello, whatever you want to collect is what you want to collect, right? So it's totally up to you. Yeah, so if I was looking at the Around the World stuff, Bearded Barbarian, I would kind of be the same way. There's no way that if I was looking at the Around the World stuff that I could look at that as a set, right? Or I could look at that as a whole. And I think that you're a lot like me when it comes to the sets. I'm not necessarily a completionist, and I don't have to be a completionist. If I get all of them, I get all of them. Fett, how are you doing, brother? It is good to see you in the chat room. You should definitely hit me up on Instagram. We should get together. We should do something. Let's see what else we have here. So the candy corn, like I said a second ago, I feel like they're kind of rubbing that one in our face. GameStop, almost said GameStop. Funko has really been doubling down lately on these games, and I have not really had a chance to pick up any of these games. If you have picked up, I picked up the original one that they come out with, but the rules on it look so complicated that it's still sitting in the box, and I just haven't had the time to like pull it out of the box. I read the instructions for a little bit, but it was so far way out there somewhere in left field that I couldn't wrap my head around how I was going to play it. And it just seems really complicated. But these new card games that they're coming out with, they're really like double, tripling, and quadrupling down on them. You see them coming out in Back to the Future. They're coming out in Disney. They're coming out in Marvel. They're coming out in everything. And I'm wondering if the games are any fun. So if any of y'all have played them, how about throw a comment over there? Hey man, you don't have to be sorry, man. Life always gets in our way, right? When it comes to what I want to say is hanging out with my friends, right? So coming on here with you guys is to me is my version of hanging out with my friends, because I don't really hang out with anyone outside of here. And it's almost like when you tell people that you're on YouTube, well, they don't want to hang out with you anyways. And I don't really know why that is. It's something about like the whole like it there's something there, right? So you don't have to be sorry, man. This is a hobby. This is hanging out. This is just for fun. Look, life gets in the way. I understand. Please know that I truly do understand when it comes to that. um I have no idea what these things right here are from. They look kind of cool, but I still have zero clue as to what they're from. They almost look like they're from a video game, is what I want to say they are. I don't really see over here where they're telling me what they're from. They just tell me that they're exclusive to Target, not Target, Amazon. I don't even know why I said Target with that. They're exclusive to Amazon. And this is what I mean by doubling down on these games, right? They are just doubling down on these games, and I'm really wondering, like, if these games are any fun, right? I mean, are these games fun? Because they keep doubling down on them, and they just keep making different ones. And I can't even imagine that, truthfully, that you could continue making a game. Look, I think that that's got to be real hard, right? I mean, how do you just decide that you're going to come up with a game? I mean, that's got to be some creative people that are sitting down and just thinking about how they're going to do that. Look, got to be some creativity that's going on in creating all of these games that they're creating. Now, this gentleman right here, we're going to give a shout out to. This is Jason Howard. He is their, what do they call this? Fantastic of the month. And I don't really understand how this works. I've never really gotten into it. I think it has something to do with the taking pictures and stuff like that. I've never gotten into that one when it comes to this. And I think this one right here is also, this one right here is also going to be some fan pictures that they've come in with. Hey, look, I appreciate the fact that Funko kind of throws their fans out there in front and center. I mean, because to me, it makes me feel like they appreciate me more. And I noticed that Funko is doing something here recently, and I don't know if y'all have noticed this. If you're ordering things from the Funko site right now, they're not coming in Funko boxes. And there's two things that I think are going on there, and I'm going to throw this out there, and y'all tell me which one y'all think sticks. One is, I think maybe they're in a bad place, right? Because their stock's been down by 86% since like 2 years ago. Their stock has fell 86%, right? So there's that. Right. So I think maybe they're in a financial crunch this year because of COVID, and every other company in this world, there's no shame in it. They're all in a financial crunch at this moment. Right. So there's that. And then there's also the second theory that I'm with, and that is that maybe they don't want to put Funko in it coming into Christmas holidays due to, what do they call it, porch pirates and stuff like that. They creep through the neighborhoods and kind of snag stuff off your porch. So that's my second theory, is that they took Funko off the boxes because they just didn't want to advertise that on your porch as something that someone could come grab it. So y'all throw a comment over there and tell me, which one do you think it is? Do you think that they're in a financial crunch? And so I mean, because the box without the name on it's going to be cheaper than a box with the name on it, right? Just common sense. Or are they trying to protect us as buyers? Now, maybe it's a little bit of both, right? I mean, maybe it's just a little bit of both. Have we seen these TLC pops? Now, these TLC pops remind me of being a young guy, and I'm trying to not like show my age, but this would have been like early on into me driving, would have been TLC and the waterfalls, and I can't remember, it's Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls. There we go. So all of them on there are kind of from the Don't Go Chasing Waterfall song, right? And that's what their outfits are supposed to be resembled, right? They're supposed to like resemble the whole like Don't Go Chasing Waterfall. But then it's really cool that they came in with the chase variants like we've never seen, right? So they came in with this chase variants. It's supposed to look like a waterfall, or supposed to look like water or waterfall, or however you like really want to look at that. But it to me, it's just really cool that they kind of like threw that in there as the chase variants. And I'm going to be really like excited to see how these guys, if they climb in price fast, or if they don't climb up in price at all. Now, these are not something that I'm going to go after. I'm not going to go after these pops. I'm not going to collect these pops. I know down in my heart that I'm not going to do it, so I'm not going to go after them. And I'm never going to like bring stuff on here and show y'all stuff that I'm not collecting, right? It's just not who I am. I have not seen the pop rock lines in a while. And I think last week I was actually talking about, are they doing away with them, just because I haven't seen them in so long, that I was starting to maybe get concerned that they were doing away with them. The pop rocks, to me, I mean, they're one of the better lines that Funko has come out with. But that goes back to like the Funko sodas. The Funko sodas, to me, are a really strong presence. Now, the Funko Pop album, I think, should have been a Funko album and not a Funko Pop album. I think they threw that pop in there to try and like maybe draw you into it a little easier, because look, in all honesty, they are kind of a hard sell, and they have one huge design flaw in them, and that is that cardboard that sits around the outside. That cardboard that sits around the outside has nothing that holds it together in all those opening places. So my Biggie album is actually, the cardboard is starting to bend out a little, and I'm kind of trying to think of a way in my mind to fix that. And if I come up with a way to fix that, I will definitely let everybody know how I fixed that. These Run DMC. Now, I've seen these in a few different places. I haven't physically seen them on their Instagram yet. These Run DMC pops, look, this is a set that I want to collect, because this goes back to my early childhood, when you had the Beastie Boys, Run DMC, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, NWA. That right there screams like really, really awesome to me when I see that line. So I really want that Run DMC, and they got my shell toes on. And I mean, everybody knows how I feel about shell toes. That they are the only tennis shoe that I wear outside of some running shoes that I take to the gym from time to time. And I try and not go to the gym a whole lot. Let's see what else they have on here. That Run DMC, though, is really hot. So what do they have right here? They're talking about the CEO in the hot seat. All right, so I'm going to talk about this for a minute, because I'm going to tell y'all how I feel when it comes to, and let's take this young lady off of there. I'm going to tell y'all how I feel when it comes to their CEO being on so many videos, right? Their CEO almost seems to me like he wants to strongly be a presence in the Funko world, right? And I don't know that if he's celebrity grabbing or what exactly it is that he is doing, but I wish that he would focus more on being a CEO and less than being in a video, right? Because we all know that those videos he's in are not like the ones that we create, right? Where we took our GoPro and hooked it to our computer, and then we got this $100 mic, and we sat down and decided that we were going to make content, right? We all know that that's not the case, that the videos they're doing are taking away from the production of a product, right? I mean, because that fund that he took to make that, however much it's costing them, and it's a whole lot more than what we do to do this, trust me, it's taking away from that side of the business, and it's also taking away from the time he should be spending on making sure that quality control is better, making sure that there's so many things that his time is better spent on than those videos that I don't truly understand. I don't truly understand. So this one right here is going to be one of those Pakas, and it doesn't necessarily say Paka on there, but it looks to me a lot like a Paka. I don't have any Pakas. Do you guys have any Pakas? I don't have any of those. Now, the Pakas look really cool when they're sitting in the store. The Paka machines, I kind of want. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm probably not, though. If we're going to be sitting here and being honest, I am probably not saying that one right. But the Paka machines, I kind of want one of those Paka machines. And if I could get like a handful of the coins or something and sell them to my friends as they come over to hang out, so that they can, look, I think that would be a really cool like addition to my studio. I tried to talk to a GameStop once. I tried to convince them to sell me one. They were 110,000% against it. So it's never going to happen. I don't think. Maybe one day I'll find one that's just sitting around for sale. Now, I think that we're getting into, and we are, I think we're getting into the last place we were on last week, where we've already seen the rest of these. So I kind of am going to skip over this, and then I'm going to talk about like some other things. And like I said, y'all, I had some other leaks that we're going to talk about, and some other like Funko news. Now, when I say leaks, I need everybody to understand that I truly don't know that if these leaks are true or not. I'm only going by sources, and I believe the sources to be true, or I wouldn't be talking to you guys about them. Now, that also doesn't mean that they are true, though. That just means that the sources that I got it from, to me, seem like reputable sources, right? They seem like people that I would trust when it came right down to it, right? So Marvel art series coming to Target. Now, y'all are gonna have to tell me if I'm right or wrong, or you'll have to like go look this up in a minute. Friendliest Beagle, how are you doing, buddy? It is good to see you. So y'all will have to tell me what you think, and you'll have to tell me if I'm right or wrong on this. But the Marvel art series, I don't think we've seen any of those yet. Now, I do believe that we've seen the DC, right? Because I just picked up a bunch of the Batman from the Marvel art series and from the DC art series. Now, they say the Marvel art series will be going to Target as well. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but I think that it would be pretty cool to see a couple of figures in the Marvel come over to the Marvel art. But I also see a pattern, right? So it seems to be like your art series and your black lights are always, always, always at Target. Now, I don't know how long that's going to last, or if that's going to continue the way that it's with. And maybe Target's even got a deal with them, maybe an exclusive deal with them somehow that's going to keep that going on further than it is. I don't know, but I would like to see some Marvel art series. And it only makes sense to me that we're going to see some Marvel art series after we've seen the DC art series. Because if we think about it like this, right? If we think that they came out with the Marvel black lights, right? So they came out with those first, and they came out with those some months ago, right? Early summer, maybe midsummer. I can't 100% remember exactly when. And then they've been kind of coming out with them ever since. And then here recently, they dropped some of the black light ones at Target. Now, the ones they dropped at Target were DC. So you had a Batman, Joker, and Harley Quinn, and I'm saying this loosely, and this is why I'm going to say this loosely. They say that you can go on Target's website and order them, or I've seen that some people say that they're on there and you can click on them, but I'm starting to think that that must be by region, right? Because I have not seen them on any website. And I've looked time and time, at least probably every other day. I go on to Hot Topics website and I try and see if they have the black light pops on there, and they never have the black light pops on there. So I haven't seen them on there. I've seen lots of people that show pictures of them. I've seen JKL, he has one where he's trying to put them in his cart and they just won't go into his cart. I mean, so I'm not saying that they're a mythical creature. I'm just saying that I have not personally seen them. I haven't seen them in a store, right? But I've seen them on the internet, just not in a store. I would like to, because I tend to be a little bit more of a DC fan than I am a Marvel fan. But if we go by that logic, right, that they made the black lights in the Marvel and now they're starting to make them in the DC, it's only going to hold true for the art series, right? So they made the art series in the DC and now they're starting to make them in the Marvel. They just flipped the roles, right? They just reversed what they were doing and how they did it. So I look forward to seeing that. I don't know if you guys look forward to seeing that. Y'all will have to throw a comment. Tell me what you think. Is that something that you want to see? Because I'm sure that we all want to see that, right? Grumpy Cats is coming to Entertainment Earth Flocked. I have no clue what a grumpy cat is or what that is or anything to that effect. I mean, so I just simply don't know what that is. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot about that when it comes to that. I just don't know. All right, so let's get right chill. I'm going to go back over here to their Funko site real quick and see what they have on there, though, because once again, this has become one of my Thursday things that I do with you guys and that I don't typically just sit down and do. I'm normally making videos and I got all kinds of stuff going on other than like sitting here and seeing what they're coming out with. So I'm going to like flip over there real quick and see what they have, see if there's anything new coming on. To me, it's always interesting to get on here. And then I get a chance to ask you what your opinion is, right? I mean, we get that chance to just ask what each other's opinion is. I'm going to go to the wrestling line first because I've heard rumors of this. And now that I see that it's on there, it's not necessarily a rumor, right? So Let's grab that one real quick. So this is the one I want to see. Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, whoa. Friendliest Beagle. What is Grumpy Cat? How about throw me a comment over there and tell me what Grumpy Cat is, because I don't have a clue what Grumpy Cat is. And I want to say that maybe it's a cartoon or maybe even an anime, but I don't know. You'll have to like tell me real quick what that is, and we'll just have to talk about that together, because I don't have a clue what that is. But that is good. The Grumpy Cat is going to be an Entertainment Earth exclusive. I don't think it's on there right now, but maybe it's on there right now. I know that one's coming. That's not necessarily a leak. That's more of a like we're coming soon type thing than it is a leak. The Macho Man Randy Savage. Now, I'm not really big into wrestling. Now, as a kid, then this is what Macho Man Randy Savage would have been from me as a kid, and Bearded Barbarian, and all you guys know. This would have been a classic wrestler, right? This is when I see Macho Man Randy Savage, the only thing I can think about when I see Macho Man Randy Savage is snap it to a Slim Jim. I mean, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? That's the only thing that I can think of when I see him, is the whole like snap it to a Slim Jim. Yeah. that's the only thing I can think of. Oh, so the Grumpy Cat is a meme? So do y'all say meme or do y'all say mimi? Because I've actually like ran into some people that say mimi. I say meme. I think a lot of people say meme, but I've seen some people that like that ran into that. Grumpy Cat is a meme. Somebody posted a picture of the cat, looks really mean. It ended up becoming that is crazy that a meme became viral and is now a Funko Pop. Oh, that is insane. Absolutely insane that it worked like that. Hey, it's insane and really cool all at the same time. So it says YouTube made this. I'm gonna go look him up, guys, when we're done with this today. I've got a little bit of time before I have to get to the swim pool, to the pool. So I'm gonna look him up and just see what Grumpy Cat is all about. I mean, I would have never ever in 100 years thought that the Grumpy Cat would have been from a meme. Oh, that is funny. Thank you guys for pointing that one out. I did not know, man. That is insane. So that's how things happen, though, right? Things happen just by accident all the time. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a good thing. That just seems that how they happen. I don't really see anything else other in the wrestling line that I would truly go after. Now, I do remember Bret Hart, and I think if you remember Macho Man Randy Savage, then you definitely remember Bret Hart. Ordered this. Yeah, well, I did not know that was a meme. I had zero clue, and now I'm gonna go check it out. And I'm kind of hoping it's not real funny and it's not real entertaining, because then I might want to go like pre-order it myself. And I have so many pre-orders out there right now. It is mind blowing. I don't know if you guys like find yourself with way too many pre-orders hanging out there, but I have found myself right now with way too many pre-orders hanging out, and I've kind of decided that if I can find them in the store, I'll pick them up and cancel the pre-order, because I hate the idea that I have so many pre-orders right now out there that's probably what I'm going to look at with that. Now, I'm not running out anytime to get the Bret Hart Mr. T. I did not see that one when I first clicked on here. Now, I don't know if it matters that Mr. T is in the wrestling line or the fact that it's just a Mr. T. So I think it just depends on how you look at this one. I don't know that we've seen a Mr. T. Have we seen a Mr. T? Can anyone comment and tell me if we've seen one of those? I don't think we've seen a Mr. T. I have not played the new Funko Pop game, The Friendliest Beagle, but here recently, Fabian actually let me know what the game was, and he brought up a video to show me what the game was. It looks a lot like Candy Crush, and I never could really figure out Candy Crush, so I'm not thinking that it's one of them that I'm going to sit down and play too much, but it looks, for people that are into that kind of stuff, that's really cool. That kind of stuff doesn't tend to hold my attention that long. I pity the fool. Yeah, I mean, look, iconic, like just sentence just from one person, right? I pity the fool. No, so I was thinking that that was probably the first Mr. T that we've seen, right? I mean, because I would just imagine that that is the first one. Why did you delete the game, Fabian? Was it becoming too addictive? I mean, because that tends to what happens to me when it comes to video games. Eventually, I have to put them down and walk away. Oh, I didn't see the rock neither. Now, I'm gonna have to think about how I say this one. Now, in the box with the necklace on, I know that it's the rock because it says it right on the box, rock. If they took this guy out of the box, would I know it was the rock? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say just like this guy that I just got here. Can anybody tell me who this is? Because I kind of took him out of the box right at the beginning. I took him out because I kind of wanted to wait a while and then ask you guys if y'all know who this is. Because it's, to me, this is one of the pops that if I had out of the box, you would never know who it was. And I don't necessarily know how I feel about pops that once you take them out of the box, they're unrecognizable, right? So I don't know. You've never liked the rock. Well, I understand what you're saying, that the rock pops. It's so hard to make some of these things like this look recognizable to us outside of the box. That I'm with you. I'm not sure that I'm a big fan of that one. Now, I really like the idea that they're bringing these like wrestlers from my childhood out. So I think that I'm gonna have to go after Macho Man Randy Savage. There is another Mr. T. I am A-Team. Now that would be a really cool Mr. T. The A-Team Mr. T. That would be a really cool Mr. T. All right, so let's see what else they have to offer here today. And I kind of wanted to hit the wrestling line first. I just here recently seen that they put a wrestling line on there. They have the Jailhouse. Let's look at those real quick, and I'm going to ask y'all's opinion on these guys. I pre-ordered every one of these guys probably a few months ago, and I've kind of been waiting on the pre-orders to come in. And you know how Entertainment Earth is when it comes to their pre-orders. You can pre-order those things, and then it feels like they just take forever for those things to come in. So that's kind of how I feel with that right now. It feels like they are taking forever for me to see those, and I haven't seen them. It's 4 of them all together. What do you think about these Elvis pops? Now, these kind of go into this, would I know it was Elvis? And I think I would. I think because the way that they did the Jailhouse Rock, the way he's on his toes, the way they did like the curl in his mouth, this hair with the little I think that I would definitely know. I think that if I seen those, I would say, I know that's Elvis. Now, I like Elvis, though, so I picked up all 4 of those. They have 3 that are sitting here. And then if you go to Entertainment Earth, they actually have an exclusive, right? So there's excuse me, guys. So there's 3 of them on here. And then Entertainment Earth has one as an exclusive. And the Jailhouse Rock one, to me, is the one that's most recognizable. The 68, not so much. And the Hawaiian Elvis, I know who it was because it's in the box. I don't know that I would know necessarily outside of the box. And then other than that, there's really nothing new on their site with those. South Park. Osimo. How many of us need Osimo? Now, I think when they made the South Park Osimo, they really knew what they were doing, right? Because I really like the whole Osimo and what he was doing, the whole trying to make everybody think that he was super smart robot. And y'all know exactly how South Park puts this crazy spin on things, right? I mean, they tend to put this crazy spin that just, it's kind of funny, right? I mean, and I think that's what their intentions are when they're making that. They're purposely putting these crazy spins on things, and to me, super, 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 super awesome. I have not really had a chance to look at the South Park line. They have some really good ones on here that I didn't even realize that they had in the South Park lines. This is a really good one. And let's go. I noticed that they had Butters in. Let's see if I can find it. They got Butters right here. Look, I didn't know they had these. Really cool. Recently, I just picked up the Kenny Zombie. There's a video about that. If you haven't seen that video, go check that out. They have so this right here is a really another iconic part of the cartoon. And I don't know if you guys watch South Park, but I tend to watch South Park. glad they made. Hey, look, I didn't even really realize that there were so many South Park pops out there until I recently picked up Kenny as a zombie. So they have like a Kenny zombie South Park pop that, to me, super awesome, super awesome. But he kind of fell into line with the rest of the zombies, and he kind of fell into all of the zombies that I've been picking up lately, and that's really the only reason that I picked him up, was because he kind of just fell into the line of the rest of them. I hate that every time you back out of this page, it takes you all the way to the bottom. Oh, they have Goth Kyle on here. That, look, all very like iconic, like South Park characters, and I'm gonna say characters. I mean, but they're just different, like different ones. Very, very iconic. That's cool. I'm gonna get out of there though, real quick, and see what else they have. And I'm trying to figure out a way that I can do this so they don't throw me all the way to the bottom of the page, but I just don't think there's a way. Let's check out DC. I haven't checked out DC here in a while. That looks pretty much the same, though. You got the Superman. Nothing's changed there. I'm not really into Harry Potter, but I thought I'd let you guys see it real quick, just in case you are. Marvel, same Marvel stuff there. And as I was saying earlier, they're doubling down on these whole like games. And I don't really know how you guys feel about the whole like games and what they have going on there, but they are just doubling down a lot on their games here lately. And look, y'all will have to tell me at some point if these games are any fun, if they're worth playing, if they're worth trying. I don't really know, and I don't even really know that I would ever like go out and buy these games, because I really like your classic board games like Monopoly and your classic card games like Uno. So in Halloween, we played like we had a whole bunch of adults, and we played like this massive like Uno game, lots and lots of fun, lots and lots of fun. You're still waiting on the well, I think that I've actually like seen some of those leaks or some of them that they were showing here not too long ago. Those are going to be some pretty awesome pops from what I could tell. That's what I think. They're going to be some pretty awesome ones. I'm kind of disappointed right now that I don't see anything new, but I also haven't seen like they haven't really dropped any pops since the whole like Carnage. So let's see what they got right here in the new releases. We'll go through these real quick, but this is okay. So that's not a 6-inch. That's going to be a 10-inch. Oh, excuse me. That is going to be a 10-inch. So that's different. They've been making this in a 6-inch for a long time, and they've just been changing the colors, right? So it goes to gold, it goes to black, it goes to chrome, it goes to something, right? I even think they got like a green chrome version of this sitting out there somewhere. So the fact that they're making that in a 10-inch, I'm not a Dragon Ball Z person, but a 10-inch dragon to me would be pretty cool. So that might be something that I go after. I doubt it though, because I've got too many 10-inch pops as it is, and the 10-inch pops they take up a lot of space. They take up a whole lot of space. And the other thing about a 10-inch pop is once you buy a 10-inch pop, you're pretty much gonna hold on to this 10-inch pop. You're not gonna be selling it anytime soon, because the price to ship that thing is just going to be ridiculous. And Funko has some kind of agreement worked out with the mail company somewhere, somehow, and that their shipping on those is not as nearly as much as what we would pay if we were going to ship a 10-inch pop like that. They're coming out with, it looks like, some more anime pops. If any of y'all know who these guys are, I mean, I see that their name up there, but this must be some kind of an anime like series that they're coming out with, is my only like explanation as to what we have right there. I mean, it has to be. They have really been, I think I said earlier in this year that this has been the year of anime, and it seems like Funko has doubled down. I mean, so every time you think that they've doubled down on their anime, I mean, they come out with more anime. I don't know what happened to my screen here. Let me back up already. Let's see. Let me just try and like refresh. No, still not going to let me back up. All right. Well, that was slightly annoying how that went down. Let's see. Let's try this. Nope. Oh, there we go. What did it do? All right. I'm just going to go back into it altogether. So it did something funny right there, and it's not letting me back up on the page. And look, that goes back to that, Funko and their their tech and all seems to have really like fallen off. And I guess that's why I asked the question earlier. Do you think they taken the name off of the boxes because Christmas is coming up and they're trying to avoid like the porch pirates from stealing your Funko stuff, or did they take it off for due to cost, right? Man, and glow in the dark 10-inch. Oh, okay. Well, I did not know that. Let's see what we got right there. Well, I mean, so I think that the only anime that I've truly gotten into lately would have been My Hero Academia, but then I got so busy that I kind of gotten out of that. I've watched all the way up to like season 2 something, going on season 3, and I've never just it when you have too much stuff going on, and especially like when you're making content with you guys and hanging out with you guys, it tends to take up a little bit of the free time that you were going to have to maybe watch some anime. So I look, I'm going to take your word for it and just assume that it's kind of weird, and I'm not going to go like out of my way to check it out anytime soon. So let's see what else we have right here. Like I said, I hate how every time I like back out, they take me all the way to the bottom of the page. And I don't know if Funko does that on purpose because they want you to scroll through all of them to come back down. I don't really know what their thought process is on that. They are coming out with some more Big Bang Theory pops, which reminds me a lot of like 2 cons ago when they did the whole like Big Bang Theory, like trying to remember what it was. It was like a Batman and Aquaman. It was like a whole Halloween. They were dressed up. That's what it reminds me a lot of when I see those. Hey, look, I'm with you. My Hero Academia is pretty awesome. Yeah, well, that's kind of, if I wouldn't have watched past like the 3rd episode in season 1, I probably wouldn't have continued watching My Hero Academia, just because it takes 2 or 3 episodes for it to kind of start picking up and for you to start kind of like feeling the rhythm of it. I'm going to try and go through some of these kind of quick because we're running out of some time, and I kind of wanted to talk about like some of the stuff I think we're sleeping on. So let's see. I do like this one. Now, this is supposed to be the creators. And let's see if I can. There we go. So this is supposed to be the creators of Stranger. Why didn't that come up? I must be. I'm on a different page. I have to be. There we go. I don't know how I opened 2 pages of that. Maybe that explains what I had going on there. Now, this is supposed to be the creators of Stranger Things, and it looks like it is going to be a Target exclusive. They have them upside down because this is supposed to be in the part where the upside down world, everything's upside down. And I wish that they would have done something, maybe put them on, I don't know. Look, just because you took pops and put them in a box upside down doesn't really mean a whole lot to me. I mean, you just simply put them in upside down. I could flip them out and put them in right side up, right? So there's that, right? I mean, there's that. Still really cool. I like to see that they came out with those. I think those are cool anyways. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to see if I can go back. Once again, it's going to take me all the way to the bottom of the page. That is so annoying when they do that. So I wasn't necessarily upset with the fact that they did the Big Bang, the Big Bang pops. I kind of like those. I have I have a few of them that I really like. So I kind of like those. I hate the fact that every time I like back out of this page, though, it takes me all the way to the bottom. Super annoying. And I'm sure that they're not going to fix it because I think that we're going to have to wait until next year for the economy to start like turning around, everything to start changing in order to see like a little difference. Now, this is one of the things I'm going to say that is kind of annoying as well. Now, they have this in the new Pops series, but I've had this pop for a couple of years, so I mean, I know for a fact that this is not a new pop. It's not a variant to a new pop. It's just simply not a new pop. I mean, it's that right there is kind of annoying when they put a pop back on their page and they're like, "Oh, it's a new pop." No, that's definitely not a new pop. I'm going to kind of like slide through these real quick. I've already talked about Macho Man. I already talked about Mr. T. Mr. Monopoly in jail. These have been out for a while, but that's also a super cool one. Let me see what else they have on here real quick, but I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about sleeping on Walgreens. Now, I truly think that we've kind of been sleeping on the Walgreens pops when it comes to their exclusives. They actually have some pretty cool exclusives in there that I really didn't know they had in there until here recently. You know, I stopped to use the bathroom at Walgreens because I figured nobody uses the bathroom at Walgreens. Had to pee real quick, ran in there. And as I was kind of like sliding back through there, I kind of got a glimpse at the Walgreens exclusive pops. And they tend to only have Walgreens exclusive pops. They had two or three other pops that weren't Walgreens exclusives, but they really only had two or three like other pops that weren't exclusives. And then they had like big lines of their exclusive like Walgreens pops, right? And they had I want to say it was the Octa Spider, and they have what they call Iron Hammer. Now I don't know what Iron Hammer is from, but that is a pretty awesome pop. I mean, so I think as a community and as a whole, we've kind of been sleeping on Walgreens with the fact that we don't really see their exclusives that mainstream. You don't really see videos talking about Walgreens exclusives. I think that you're going to start seeing some of those from me because I feel like we're sleeping on those pops a little bit. And the Iron Hammer, I don't know what he's from, but man, that's a really cool pop. And I didn't pick him up then because I know that they're going to be there forever, right? I mean, I just know that they're going to be there forever. So I'm going to eventually go back and pick him up. And Walgreens, they look, that's kind of, look, that's what I'm saying. It's almost like we're sleeping on those pops a little bit. Look, so don't sleep on those pops. And what I think is going to happen is, you know, when things sit on shelves too long, they eventually get really damaged, right? So this is my thoughts on what's going to happen with the Walgreens pops. They're going to sit there on the shelf so long that the kids are going to come in there with their parents, and then they're going to play with them, right? And they're going to come in and play with the boxes, and they're going to destroy the boxes, and the boxes are going to be garbage. So what I think is going to happen is you're going to find that the Walgreens exclusive pops with crisp, clean boxes are going to be really hard to get your hands on. And so that's going to truly affect the price of the pop, right? I mean, that's truly going to like hinder the price of the pop, is the fact that the boxes are in such bad shape. And that's where I see that going. And it's going to be a shame because they are some really awesome pops. I mean, so don't sleep on your Walgreens pops. If you're sitting there and you think, man, there's some Walgreens exclusives that I think I should like go pick up, you should probably go pick them up before the boxes get totally destroyed, right? Because that's what's going to happen. Kids are going to come in with their parents. They're going to be waiting on a prescription. The kids are going to be running around. They're going to be playing. They're going to be flipping. They're going to be throwing. They might even decide to play soccer with the box. You know what I mean? I mean, so you know what I mean. Don't sleep on those. Just don't sleep on those. Let's see. Maybe I missed something right here. Exclusives. They stock them. Yeah, well, so that's not the case at my Walgreens. My Walgreens, they just kind of sit there, and it really feels like they're people that are just sleeping on those pops. I'm not going to sleep on those pops forever. At some point, I'm gonna have to like make it back over there and see if they still have them. But last time I was in there, they still had them. The WandaVision. So my friendliest Beagle, I was talking about this earlier. This has been a leak that they were talking about. It's going to be at the ECC 2021. It's going to be a 2-pack. It's going to have Vision and Quicksilver in the 2-pack. So that's kind of a leak that I caught. I think it leaked earlier in the week, but you know, I don't do the throwback Thursdays till Thursday. So that's when we talked about it. And there's also 6 new Target exclusives coming that they're not telling us what they are. So they're just showing the 6 empty boxes, and they're not telling us. So from now to Christmas, we're going to see 6 new Target exclusives. Now you can decide in your mind what you think those Target exclusives are going to be, and you can come up with it. But I would love to know what y'all think those Target exclusives are going to be. Do you think that we're going to see some more? Do you think we're going to see some more Artisan series? Do you think we're going to see some more Black Lights? What do you think? What is your speculation on what from now to Christmas we're going to see Target exclusives? Because to me, Target has been coming out with some of the hottest exclusives here lately, right? I mean, they have been just killing some of the hottest exclusives. They've had the Black Light pops. They had the Artist Series pops. They've just here in the last month or two, they've just had some very, very, very solid exclusive. So they tell me what you think. I mean, they have 6 of them that's going to come out from now till Christmas that are all going to be Target exclusives. Do you think that they're going to be black lights? Let's see. Marvel black lights sure will probably be Target. No, I think that everything when it comes to Marvel and black lights at this point is going to be Target. I'm 100% with you when you say that. I mean, I truly believe that from the now on, everything that's Marvel is going to be a Target exclusive. And if that's true, I know that they've leaked a Black Panther that's going to be coming into the Black Light series, and there's some other ones that I can't remember right off the top of my head, but I know that there's been a Black Light Panther that's been leaked that's going to come into the black light, and if they bring that one into a black light, whatever you do, don't sleep on that one. I mean, because that's going to be like the first 4, right? Everybody got caught sleeping on the first 4, and now they're like, oh, I wish I knew how to get them. Well, I mean, it's just not going to happen. Here's my rant about those. Let's see. Store exclusive, same molds, one glows, one. Yeah, so you're talking about like the glow versus the don't glow, and they're both being, and one's exclusive. So using the same mold, look, using the same mold to me is almost always a slap in the face, right? So when they bring out the same mold and they just change like one little thing, they turned it into a glow, they turned it into a chrome, they turned it into a something, and they didn't change their mold at all, to me is something that Funko just shouldn't do often. It should not be something that they do as often as they do. They do it way more often than they should. The Spider-Man and Carnage. So I managed to get the Carnage. I have all of the original 4 black light pops that Target had, which would have been the Captain America, Thor, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man. So that would have been the original 4. Or was there 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe there was 5. So there was Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man. Yes, so there was 5. I just recently picked up Carnage. I can't even see the Batman, the Joker, and Harley Quinn that's supposed to be a Hot Topic exclusive. Now, watch what I said, that Hot Topic, because I can't even see it on their website, even though everyone says that it's there. And I've seen, like, my buddy JKL shows a video of him trying to put it in his cart. I still can't look. I don't see it on their website at all. So, because this is what I do, and maybe if you don't do this, you can start paying attention to this a little more. I'll go to their website because I know they're sold out, but it'll give me the release date. The release date is when they will bring them to the store, not just send the pre-orders out. Okay, so it is the date that they're going to mail the pre-orders, but it's also the date that I can go to the store and pick it up. So that's what I do a lot when it comes to like Target and Hot Topic and those, when their pops sell out, because they tend to sell out so fast when it comes to like the grand scheme of things, that getting them online is almost impossible to do. But if you'll look on their date, like their drop dates, that's also the same date that it's going to show up in their store, right? So if you'll just look at that date, you'll know that on that day that you need to be there as they open so that you can at least grab one, right? Because getting them online is almost impossible. So that's the only reason that I've been really, truly trying to get them guys online. Talking about recycling molds, right? And the thing that Funko tends to do when they're recycling molds, looking at this Superman reminds me of this mold that they've just recently recycled, right? So when they came out with the Jack in the Box, which is a really awesome pop, don't get me wrong, I have this pop, really cool pop. They recycled the Superman mold to make that pop, though. It's nothing but Clark Kent pulling his shirt back, and instead of having the whole like Superman symbol, they have the Jack in the Box symbol, and then they have the Jack in the Box head. Severely recycled that mold. I think that when you see these Superman pops now that have his shirt torn open, that they're going to recycle him with a Jack in the Box. Now, that's just how I feel now. Every time I see one of those guys, I think, man, that's going to become a Jack in the Box. Maybe that's going to become a Jack in the Box. Maybe it's not. But just remember that there's always a potential now when we see these that it's going to be a Jack in the Box. I wanted the Harley Quinn. Oh, yeah, no, look, I understand like the whole struggle with the money. That's always a struggle when you're thinking about the new pops, and they just continuously keep dropping an awesome pop after an awesome pop after an awesome pop after an awesome pop until some point you have to say, all right, financially, I can't try and keep up with you anymore. And look, I almost think sometimes that's their goal. I don't know. Look, I don't know. But I do know that that's what drives the price one way or the other. Let's see. I have waited to find a few days later using the same molds. Yet, no. It's so that tends to be something that they do a lot. They recycle molds. I mean, Mirror World, how are you doing? I'm super excited that you're here today. You look new to the chat, and it's awesome that you showed up to say hi. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They tend to recycle molds a lot, and this is what I'm going to say as somebody that used to work in the plastic industry and the molds and all of that. Molds are expensive, and when I say expensive, I mean really expensive. And I'm going to see if I can kind of like wrap your head around it. So the molds that they're using, and I would say that they're not making like a singular mold for the body, right? So I'm thinking that they're using all injection molding, and if they're using all injection molding, that mold is probably got 50 or 100 of his bodies that are all lined up in this aluminum cast, right? And then they had to get somebody to cut that out. So their molds can cost anywhere from 50 to $200,000, right, for that one mold. So it only makes sense that they're going to recycle them sometimes, because it financially makes sense to them that they're going to do it. But I think they do it a little too much, and I agree with you. It's upsetting when they do it so much, but it only makes sense to me that they're going to have to do it sometimes. I just think that they should limit the times that they do it. I think that it should be a limited thing. If you're going to recycle the mold 2 or 3 times, you should probably say that I'm only going to recycle it 2 or 3 times, and then that's it. That's it. That's all I'm going to recycle that one, and then I'm going to make a difference. But I'm looking at them here recently, and I almost think that they've changed the way they're making their molds, right? So it looks like their arms, legs, bodies, and heads are all separate. And if they're all separate, then that means that these are all different molds. If these are all different molds, then that means that they could use any kind of arm to change up that pop. So they could just change the arm and recycle the body, the arms, the legs, and the head, and still have all the molds, but only have to buy one for the arm, right? So lately it looks like they're breaking their molds up into a bunch of different pieces, which to me is a smart idea. But on the other hand, I hate that sometimes I can see this glue spillover that came in from it. So it to me that's a two-edged sword, and they just have to be really careful with it. Guys, I want to say thank you for hanging out today, and don't forget, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications, and become part of the Wayneko crew. Guys, there is no Wayneko crew without you. I truly appreciate everybody here who's been watching today, and I'm gonna have to call it a day, guys. Y'all have a good one. Until next time, I will see y'all next Thursday.